So I'm Joy, a software engineer from Microsoft Surface Duo team. I just want to say I'm so good to see you all in person. You probably have already heard that several times today, but yeah, it's I think, the first in-person event after all this stuff. So today, here, I'm going to tell you a love story between Foldable and Compose. Okay. So, okay. Compose doesn't want to come out. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, now here we go. So, how did the story begin? So, we are the Compose and Foldable love each other when they first met? I'm not telling you a fairy tale, so probably not. But how can they break the barrier, and how is the ending? Let's see. Firstly, let me introduce our best friend, Foldable, with a very cool video. Okay, now, do we have audio?
Hello?
I think I'm supposed to say hello. So there are more and more foldable devices coming to the market, providing bigger display area for more immersive experience and multitasking to improve the productivity. Microsoft Surface Duo device is just one of them. All the technology here doesn't only apply to Surface Duo device. They can be used for all kinds of foldable devices, dual screen device, and even large screen devices like tablet. As developers, we keep asking ourselves, how could we build the application or enhance the application to leverage the big screen to improve the user engagement? So to achieve this, we introduced 5 design patterns, which you can use for different user scenarios. List detail is a very popular design pattern. It's perfect for email or gallery application. So you show the list of content on one side and then a detail on the other side. So one application takes both of the screen or the full display area of the foldable. So currently, Microsoft, Outlook, Teams, To-Do, and OneDrive are using this. Extended Canvas, which is the easiest one. So that app just expands the content, cover the whole display area or both screens. So you can use it to show map, spreadsheet, or drawing applications. So the user can view more contents and easily zoom in or zoom out. 2-page. So it's a perfect pattern for reading application like Kindle. So you can read a book or any kind of text content using this pattern, especially with Surface Duo device. When you open the device, you actually feel like you are opening a book. Companion pane, which is good for image editing or gaming control. The Xbox Game Pass in the previous video is using this. Dual view. It's very useful to view the same content from different angles or do some content comparison. So like real estate or hotel, restaurant ordering application, they can show the list of the hotel on one side and the map with their location on the other side. So among all these patterns, which one would suit in your application? It's time to meet Compose. So as a declarative UI toolkit, Compose is well designed for rendering content differently across a variety of devices. So with Compose, I think that's the reason we love Compose. With Compose, it was very easy for us to build this application. It's just a simple a gallery application with some natural images. And there's a button navigation bar to switch between different categories. So when you click an item, you will open a new page, which shows a big image with the detailed information. We start building this application in just a regular single-screen device. Then we test it on our Surface Duo device. So the application will launch on the single-screen mode, which only takes one of the screen, leaving another one unused, so just showing the home page of the launcher, or you can run the other applications side by side. Then we can flip the device with the screen back to back and rotate it. So you will see the application, it will just run exactly the same as other regular Android devices on the Surface Duo device. So we love Compose, we love Foldable. What happens if they meet each other? Let's see how their first date goes. Running the same application, we span the application across both screens. So now you see, okay, the UI got stretched, and even the button navigation bar got covered by the middle hinge. The UI doesn't look good, and the bigger display area doesn't give us any advantages. Okay, our two little friends, between them, I don't see any sparks here. So what about our love story? Okay, heartbreaking. So let's try to do something to help them. Remember the design pattern I mentioned before? We have the dual view, two-page, extended canvas. Do you know which one would fit in this scenario? This detail, yes. So it's definitely the best option for this application, showing the gallery list on one side and then the detail on the other side. There are many ways to build a list detail to show two different UI side by side, especially with Compose. After lots of investigation, we decided to create a UI component to share our learning and help the developer to solve the similar problem in an easy way. We call it two-pane layout. So here is the API for the component. So you can see they are pane 1 and pane 2 represent the two containers to hold the two different UI you would like to show. So the syntax is actually very similar to other Compose UI components like column, row, box. So it's very easy to use. What you need to do, just pass in any kind of composable into pane 1 and pane 2, and two-pane layout will take care of the rest. So we can auto-switch between different device portrait. What does that mean? So foldable device can fold, flip, and rotate. So with the special features, it creates these 4 different device portraits. The first one, single portrait. So it meaning the app only takes single screen of the device, or like the half of the screen of the foldable if you fold it via the folding line, and then with the portrait orientation. Single landscape, single screen with the landscape orientation. And then dual portrait, meaning one application taking both screens and with the middle hinge or folding line vertically. And dual landscape, meaning the device rotates with the middle hinge horizontally. So with this device portrait, actually provide more options for you to implement like different activities. So like here, if we hold the device with the hinge vertically, so the 2 pins by the two-pane layout will show left and right. And if we rotate the device, that 2 pin actually will be updated automatically to the top and bottom. So it's just handled by a two-pane layout. The two-pane layout is hinge-aware, so it can support different foldable. Hinge-aware means that component can lay out two panes with the gap in the middle. And that gap is based on the size of the physical hinge or the folding line. So on the Surface Duo 2 device, the gap is 66 pixels. When you run the same app on the Surface Duo 1, the first generation, it will be 84 pixels. And you can also run it on the other foldable like Samsung Galaxy Fold. That gap would be 1 pixel. So the component makes sure no content will be covered by the hinge or folding line. So you can see if we rotate the Samsung foldable device, the two pins will be laid out top and bottom, just exactly the same as the one on the Surface Duo device. Two-pane layout also support large screen. We believe the bigger display area on the large screen devices should be leveraged to improve the user experience by showing two different UI side by side, like foldable device. So here is the app running on the tablet. So you can see the two panes lay out equally, taking half of the screen. But with two-pane layout, you can also set the weight to lay out the two panes proportionally. So here, we set a pane 1 with the weight 0.3 and pane 2 is 0.7. So now pane 1 will only take 30% of the screen, and then pane 2 will take off the rest, which is 70%. So the two-pane layout will calculate the space based on the total weight amount of the two panes. So it also provides some customized pane mode. You know, in some use cases, the design may require showing two different UI side by side on the dual portrait. But it may require just show a single pane when the device rotates to the dual landscape, like currently Microsoft Teams and Outlook doing. So here, we set a pane mode as the horizontal single, telling the component we want to show a single pane when the middle hinge is horizontal. So now, we rotate the device, you will see you only show a single pane on the dual landscape mode. There are three options we provide for the team mode. The first one is two-pane, which is the default value. So the component would always show two pins no matter how the device rotates. Horizontal single, the one we just showed, and a vertical single is showing the single pin when the middle hinge is vertical. So when we use two-pane layout to enhance our application on foldable, we don't want to break the existing UI on the regular single-screen device or on the single-screen mode of the foldable. So the navigation would be needed to switch between two panes, which we show at the same time on the dual-screen mode. So with two-pane layout, the navigation is provided without any extra configuration or setup. You can just call navigate to pane 2. Then the app would take from pane 1 to the pane 2. And then navigate to pane 1 is back from pane 2 back to pane 1. So we ship two-pane layout via Maven Central. But if you would like to check out more information, here is the GitHub link. All the library we build are open source, with library and samples to show you how to use them. Two-pane layout provides lots of features here for the developer to use. But is it enough to fix our love stories? That's the question we had after we used the two-pane layout to build several sample applications. We realized some applications may not require to show two different UI side by side. Remember the extended canvas we show, so like when we want to show a map. But that kind of application may require some information about when to show the different size of the image or different text style, or how to adjust the content to avoid got covered by the hinge. So we decided to offer more help. That's how the second library comes out, the window state. Window state actually is built on top of the Google Jetpack Window Manager, which providing a collection of window layout information. So window state offer all the information as a state, window state. So you can just access it and insert it into your application. So it provides an easy way to integrate Jetpack Window Manager. Window state also cover window size classes, which were introduced by Google last year. They are used to split all kinds of devices into 3 categories: compact, medium, and expanded, based on the height or width of the screen size. So like 2-pane layout, Windows State also support large screen. So here is the GitHub link for the Windows State. To use Windows State, you just need to declare a variable with the Windows State class. Then you call remember Windows State to access it. So inside Windows State, there's a fold size, which is the size of the physical hinge or the folding line. Pen size and pen 1 size and pen 2 size is the size of the 2 pins, the 2 containers to hold the UI. Windows State would tell you whether the application is in a dual screen or not, meaning whether the application is in a single screen mode or expand to cover the whole display area. And then we have the width size class and height size class from the window size classes. Let's run a small sample to show how Windows State works when the screen changes. So here is an application running on the single screen of the Foldable. So you can see the fold size is 0 pixel. And pen 1 and pen 2 size are 0 pixel as well. That's because Jetpack Window Manager won't detect the folding feature, won't detect the window layout information when the folding feature is not available. The folding feature will be available only when the app running on the dual screen of the Foldable. So that's why the Windows State will tell you, okay, now the app is not in the dual screen mode. It's just the single portrait. So based on the window size class, we know now the width is compact and the height is medium. And if we span the app across both screens, so now we see the fold size is not 0 pixels anymore, it's 66. So that one actually is the Surface Duo 2 devices. And then pen 1 and pen 2 size are not 0 pixels anymore. So yes, now the app is in the dual screen mode. And we call it dual portrait because the middle hinge is vertical. So the width now becomes expanded since the whole screen, the whole display area is bigger. But the height stays the same, it's still medium. And if we rotate the device, the fold size won't be changed. And then now we know it's the dual landscape. That's how the Windows State tell you the different window mode when you adjust your application. And then the width now is medium, and then the height is expanded. What about the other foldables? Let's see. So on this foldable, the fold size is 1 pixel. There's actually a very invisible folding line in the middle of the screen. So we know this one actually is Samsung Galaxy Fold. And now, since there's a folding line, so we call the app in the dual screen mode. And then it's the dual portrait because the folding line is vertical. And according to Google's definition for this device, both width and height are medium. So if we try the app on the tablet, The fold size is 0 pixel again, because there's no physical hinge or folding line in a tablet. And then the pen size, pen 1 size and pen 2 size are equally taking half of the screen. The Windows Day would treat the large screen as a dual screen mode by default, so that we can show 2 different UI side by side. Okay, now with all our help, Compose and Foldable now are getting to know each other more and more. I think now it's time to give them a second chance. I hope they won't let each other down again. So with Windows Day and 2-pane layout, that's what the app looks like now. So we're showing the gallery list on one side and then the placeholder image on the other side if nothing is selected. And if we select an item, the item will be highlighted in the list. And then on the other side, we'll show the detail page with the big image and the information. So since Windows Day and 2-pane layout support large screen, so we run the app on the tablet, it will look like this. There's no extra change is required. Everything just happened automatically with all our enhancement. So I start to seeing some sparks here. But can we turn the sparks into a frame? Sure. The navigation rail is our fuel. It's recommended to use when handling the large screen scenario. It's a compact arrangement which put the high priority destination within reach in the bigger display area. So we follow this detail pattern in Outlook. We set the horizontal single, the one I just showed, as the pen mode in the 2-pane layout. So when we rotate the device, we show the whole list across both screens from top to bottom, and the navigation rail still on the left-hand side. So if we try it in a tablet, it looks perfectly. So now, does Foldable love Compose? I think for sure. Working together definitely benefit both of them. So with all the enhancement now, we show the bottom navigation bar on a single screen mode. And when the app spans into the dual screen mode, we show the navigation rail. The code actually is very easy. We just switch between different navigation based on the variable is dual screen, which we get from the Windows state. So you can see separating the overview list from the detail would allow the user to drill deeper into the content while still staying grounded regarding their location on the overview list. So I think now Foldable and Compose would like to live happily ever after, like the princess and prince. But one thing is missing here. Do you know what it is? Testing. Without testing, we can't make sure whether the application is functioning as per requirement and specification. But testing on Foldable actually is slightly different from testing on the single screen devices. There are more scenarios to think about, especially the screen changes between the single screen and the dual screen. That's why we built a test kit to help you to write the instrumentic UI test on the Foldable. Among all these utility functions, there are 2 main functions I would like to show you. The first one is Folding Feature Helper, which is also built on top of Jetpack Window Manager, providing a function to simulate the folding feature changes. For example, the app is switched from showing a single pane to showing both panes at the same time. So this test method is using a folding feature to test whether the placeholder image shows correctly when selecting different options from the navigation rail. We use the Compose test tool to set the content with the app scene and pass in the window state, which has the has fold is true, meaning we are testing on the foldable device. And fold is separating is also true. Fold is separating meaning the device either has the physical hinge or, like Samsung Foldable, has the folding line, but the device is not fully open. It's just half open. The folding angle is less than 180. That means it's separating. And then we call a simulate vertical folding feature, meaning we want to simulate the two pane changes when the folding line is vertical. You may notice the simulation here actually is only happen on the single screen of the Surface Duo device. It's because the folding feature is not only for the Surface Duo device. You can use this method for all kinds of foldable devices for the testing. Another one we call UI device extension. It's an extension of the UI device, just like the name. This function, unlike the previous one, is specific for the Surface Duo device. So you can see in this simulation now, when you span, we are using the swipe gesture to simulate the span and unspan using the finger on the real device. You will cover both screens of the Surface Duo device. So in the testing, we test whether the pane 1 is shown and the pane 2 should not be shown. Then we call span from start, telling the app to span to cover both screens. So we can check whether both pane 1 and pane 2 are displayed. So that's how we test the screen changes between the single screen and dual screen. Okay, we came all the way here, watching Compose and Foldable starting with the unpleasant date and ending up with the happy ending. What is your takeaway from the story? There are many things you can do to enhance your application on the Foldable. But before you start it, you may need to think about what kind of UI would help your application most. So the 5 design patterns I mentioned before may give you some ideas. And Compose is a good candidate when you're building a responsive UI on this new form factor. So how about you considering Compose and Foldable development at the same time? Some people ask me whether it's a good time to try Compose, or whether they should enhance their application on a foldable, dual screen, large screen devices. If you start thinking about that, I think try both of them together may be a good idea. So if you got stuck or you don't know where to start, we are here to help. We provide 3 libraries to help you on board. 2-pane layout, a UI component to hold 2 different UIs side by side. Window state, provide an easy way to get the window layout information. Compose testing, a test kit to test to do the UI test on the Foldable. I hope you like our love stories. So here's some useful resources. And then we also post a weekly blog to talking about the latest technology and following by a weekly Twitch live session. So please join us, ask questions, and provide us feedback. And you can also follow us on Twitter. Okay, I think I have 1 minute for you to ask questions. Thank you.